Hi, we're the Altons. Welcome to the breakfast table.
Hi, we're the Altons, and this is Amor Indio, a song we remember from our childhood.
Oye mi plegaria de amor y de fe. Tengo sed de amar desde que Ten compasión de mi amor y alivia este cruel dolor. Ganas de reír y llorar de emoción.
Oye mi plegaria y escucha
Mi Edén, vida tendré de un sueño de amor. Se oye palpitar en mi alma y mi ser. Se oye palpitar en mi alma y mi ser.
Hi, we're the Altons. Thank you for having us at the breakfast table, and this is Darling Girl.
Y'all come back now. Y'all come back now. You hear? You hear?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our segment, The Breakfast Breakdown, where we sit down with the artists to get to know their backstories. This Breakfast Breakdown is brought to you by Mojave Audio. They let us borrow their lineup of microphones, and this whole show was recorded on all Mojave Audios, which you have just heard on the Altons. So, with that being said, how is it that y'all came together to make music?
I think we could just come from we were doing other projects before, and just throughout the music scene in LA, we've come across each other and like kind of crossed paths, and we just decided all to jam at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So was there like a starting point where like, okay, we're the Altons, or is it one of those things that it was like y'all were jamming, and then was it we're gonna start a band and here's the name? And
I was in another band before, and two of our other members are no longer in the band. The other band broke up, and we started playing. We just wanted to keep playing.
Yeah.
And we started gigging around. We were looking for names.
They had been playing for a while, and they were a trio, and they were called the Altons.
Yeah.
And then during that time, I was in another band, and so was Joe. The guy, he was playing Rhodes.
Right.
And Chris too, Brad. And
Right.
and we were in a group which is like a soul group, and we were called JQ and the Review. And so we were all playing around LA at around the same time. And the trio had a show at the 5-Star in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then JQ and the Review, which was us, had a show too.
Gosh.
And we met that night. And then we were on the same bill. And they were like, oh, do you guys want to jam? So then they asked me and Joe separately, and we went, and we're like, what are you doing here? And then we kind of both joined at the same time. And then that's how we started playing. So it was the three, and then me and Joe joined.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we met Caitlin.
Also at another show where I was playing with another band.
Right.
And then
That's
I
how
just
it works.
slowly became friends with them, and then we started doing another like a cover band project, and then I was able to step in when the Altons needed a drummer. Yeah.
And then you could totally see a shift in the sound and everything. It just-
Right after that.
Yeah, in the best way.
Awesome. And were you all already playing soul music? Is that what it was? That already had been part of your life, or your path as a musician?
I think it's definitely been like an influence on, I think, in all of the projects that we've been doing. There's always been hints of soul music and
Yeah, it's something that I do like, and the first band was very much that, like rhythm and blues and like soul.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I was definitely into it before.
Gotcha.
Still am.
And so, who are some of your favorite soul artists that have like influenced you?
Sorry, go ahead.
I
Or
was gonna
anyone?
say-
I really like Al Green.
Al Green.
I
Green's
love
a good
Otis
one.
Redding.
Sam
and
Cooke.
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I love Curtis Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. Awesome. And so, how long ago did the band start? When was it when y'all met?
I want to say 4 years ago. Maybe
say
4.5.
four?
I know.
think
I
it's
feel like
five
every
now.
yeah,
I think
maybe
it's
it's
like
5.
It might be 5.
5 years now.
So I think I've been in the group at least 2 years now, like in some
So then it's longer than
in
that.
some capacity. Because at first I was kind of like subbing in
Gotcha.
for at least around 2 years ago, at least. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think they were already together like 2 years or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know with the pandemic, all of the shows have been canceled,
Right.
and I know that's been hard on the whole musician community. But y'all just had a show about a month ago or so, right? It was like
2
a
weeks.
drive-in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience and how that came about.
I mean, it was great, man. It was cool to finally be back and start playing, and to be with, especially be with everybody. And like the lineup was all of our homies, all the friends. So
Yeah.
it was nice to finally see everybody, nice to play, and we got invited. I believe our friend Trish Toledo was she's headlining the gig, and yeah, we got
So-
invited by her.
Yeah, it helped out, and she helped get like homies on the bill, and it was really, really cool. It was planned like in a very cool way with like the cars drive in, and they have this space, and
Yeah.
like it's like tailgating but organized,
Yeah.
and they really pulled it off. Like
They sold out.
They sold it out.
Yeah.
The sound was great.
Yeah,
The location
it
was
really
really
was.
cool. They had people walking around making sure that people stayed in their squares because they were
Oh,
still
yeah.
trying to socially distance.
Yeah.
Machete
And-
was there.
Danny Trejo was
Oh,
there.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I
And we were
did
all
see
like,
that.
Just hanging
Yeah.
out.
But it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Maybe it's a new way to do concerts, and we're like happy to be a part of it. Like
Yeah,
that transition.
Yeah, definitely. Have you guys been doing more lives and all of that kind of stuff because of the pandemic? Or like, how is it that you guys have adapted to this whole change?
I think we did do a couple of different live streams. We've been doing video performances, like the one you have. We did a couple other ones too. But yeah, we've been trying to figure it out. We've been trying to put together, at least get together enough to still practice and still kind of write during all of
Right,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of so we can be prepared for when everything opens up.
I
Yeah.
feel like everything was dormant for a bit, and like people are slowly kind of coming out and be like, I'm
Totally.
down to do this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like maneuvering this weird situation. We're all trying to figure out how to still be creative and,
Right.
and want to do lives and get together and practice and do all that.
Talking about being creative, that first song that y'all played, it's an original, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it that y'all get together to begin to make this music or write the songs, or does one person write the song and then someone else does maybe, chord progression or something like that?
I think it's a combination of different things. What's cool about the first song we did is the first song that Caitlin's actually recorded on. So we did that. When did we record? Maybe like last year or sometime? 2 years ago.
The
No,
year
almost 2
before,
years
2
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. How did that song come out? Like, usually it comes out like somebody has an idea and you bring it to like the band, kind of
Right.
expand on it like
Yeah,
that.
and this one worked out cool because he had an idea and then I did too, and we meshed it, and it worked. So like we were writing it together, and then finally realizing that was the missing part. Like he was
Yeah.
missing something, I was too, and it just worked out that way.
So it was essentially two different songs in some kind of way, or
I would say so, because we were writing it separately,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
then we kind of came together. Oh, like this works with this, and like just kind of like putting it together.
That's
and it worked
dope.
out. And then around the same time, we were starting to work with Gabe Roth, and he was starting Penrose, which is that whole label, and we got to like bounce ideas off him and like work with him and actually record it at Penrose Studios in Riverside.
yeah.
And it was like the sound, the way it changed is really, really cool. And it was just
Awesome.
like a bunch of learning and jamming and writing, and it was cool.
And tell us a little bit more about the whole Penrose movement, right? Because it's you guys. There's several different bands that are part of that label. Tell us about how that came to be, or how y'all got to, get to know the people from the label.
So Penrose is kind of like a subsidiary of Daptone Records, and they are very much like a New York-based thing, like an East Coast type of thing. And Gabe actually grew up here. Gabe Roth grew up here in Riverside, and he had moved back, and he was kind of like, putting feelers out there to see what bands there were around this area.
Yeah.
And I guess through word of mouth, through a friend, Diego, right?
Yeah.
From With Strangers,
Yeah.
that's from another band called With Strangers, had mentioned Joey, which was Joe. He was here playing Rhodes to him,
Right.
and like they had met each other. Like he had heard some of his stuff, and then he was building the studio, which was Penrose, where we all recorded.
Right.
And he needed like a hand, and like he brought some of the guys over, and they were like there helping him build it, which is cool because in New York, when they were doing the Daptone thing, a lot of the musicians helped build it, like Charles Bradley and Sharon Jones, like everyone pitching in, doing like whether it be like electrical work or like actual building. And then like these guys were over here helping him build this studio, and that's how like we got brought into it, and like meeting him and like him listening, and like we met like the other bands on the label, which was like the Sacred Souls are from San Diego, so like they came over too, like Jason Joshua from Miami. And like he was kind of bringing in like groups of people that he was like, okay, this is gonna fit like this sound that we want to make, this movement or this scene. And I totally spaced. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That's
That
a
was
good
a
synopsis.
good-
That was really good, actually.
It was cool.
was
So like
awesome.
he's building that. I know I'm like talking, then I'm like.
You're like, damn, I sound great.
No.
Yeah, I'm
But
just everyone.
No, but it was really cool, like how it worked. It's
Yeah, it
like
must have
the
been.
most organic way which is like a trip because you hardly get that now.
Yeah.
Because everything's like social media, you're hitting people up and in people's DMs like trying to work with them, and this was like actual people like, hey, this is my friend, and like bringing them over and like being like, oh, you gotta be my other friend, and like it's cool that still happens, especially with someone like Gabe Roth, which is like we're like, whoa, like this is awesome, like
And
being a fan of him already.
I love how much sense that makes because the music that you all make is old school, is oldies, you know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly how these musicians got together. I mean, they didn't have another choice. They didn't have social media back then, so I think it's dope that y'all are still doing that.
Yeah, I think it's cool too.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are all from LA? Is that right?
Yeah.
This is my
Different
neighborhood
parts.
right here.
Oh, that's right. You were just mentioning earlier that you grew up here in Boyle Heights.
Yes, born and raised. I'm still here.
There we go. And so, what's something that you have taken from Boyle Heights that maybe is in your music now?
Well, I'm Boyle Heights, and then Bryan's Maywood.
I'm from Maywood.
Maywood.
And then Caitlin.
I grew up in North Hollywood.
North
But I've been to school all over. I went to Hamilton High School, like I was mentioning earlier. So I have a lot of friends, like mid-city, west side, and then
yeah. How is it that Los Angeles or your neighborhoods then become part of your music, or is that even maybe something that y'all think about or maybe not think about?
I think it's like a pretty good reflection of where we. At least I like to think that it's a pretty good reflection of where we're coming from. Like there's a certain sound, there's like a certain groove to it that like can't quite put your finger on it, but it's very Los Angeles. It's very like the music is very inspired by our experiences and like everything we've gone growing up like in these areas.
Yeah, and bands we've heard in these areas that we would go to gigs, like backyard gigs, and we were like in high school, and like actually when we're old enough to go to bars and you hear all types of bands on a bill, and like it's really, we're spoiled with music and like what we get to be exposed to, and that's like super LA because it's like this is the melting pot and all of that, and it's like it's cool. So I feel it affects it in that way that we've been exposed to so much.
Totally. What do you all feel? Where do you all feel that soul music? Where do you think it could go, especially the soul music here in Los Angeles or in Southern California? Like, where do you see it going from here?
I don't know. I feel like it's been, especially recently, it's been trickling into like you hear like the Silk Sonic with Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. It's kind of like that old style, like old vibe is kind of trickling into other things. So I think it's cool because it's no longer like a niche thing. It's like it was for a little while. It's like you have specific groups, specific cultures that listen to oldies, and you have you play like the Santa Ana swap meet or stuff like that. And you're doing gigs like that when you're doing this music. But I feel like it's trickling into different things. There's more opportunities. I think it's cool.
It's like coming back around, like, where it's like circling, and people are like, oh yeah, it's like this sort of revival of it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So like I don't know where it would go. We're just doing it. We like it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And what's maybe the next step for you all then? Because I know you guys have an EP out right now, right?
We have a full length that came out maybe 3 years ago, and then we released just a 7-inch last year through Penrose. And I mean we were hoping that we were getting ready to tour some of this stuff. Yeah. So literally, I think it came out 3 days or 4 days before everything shut down. Like we had the release. We with the music video, everything.
Early, it was like early March, last year.
All prepared, and then it
about
was
a week out before like a run of shows. We were gonna do a run of SoCal shows first.
10 shows,
with the Penrose whole
all the other bands.
All the other bands.
whole
So it was
crew.
gonna be every band that was on Penrose that were getting ready.
Yeah.
And all of this happened. And but we're here. We're still trying to make music and I'm trying to be positive about it because I'm sure everybody was bummed,
Well, I'm glad that I'm very grateful that y'all showed up, and I'm sure that people that are seeing this are gonna get a bunch of positive vibes from you guys. You guys did an amazing job, and I want to thank you guys for coming by and blessing the breakfast table.
Thanks for having us.
This is cool. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. I think it's important that we try to showcase as much as we can the soul music that is in Los Angeles, and you guys are such a great representation of it. So thank you very much for that. Before we go, let the people know where they can find your music, your Instagram, your socials, and all that good stuff.
We're at the Altons Music, or just the Altons?
At the Altons.
At
the
the
Altons on
yeah.
Instagram. And then we're on all streaming services if you want to look up the EP or the full length. So you can find all our stuff there.
We have YouTube too.
We do have
our
YouTube.
Twitter, we suck at it, but
We do, but it's there.
but it's there.
It's there.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much
Thank
for coming
you.
by. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you soon at the next breakfast table. Goodbye.